Another way to transfer energy through a material is when we heat a fluid. And by a fluid, that means a liquid or a gas. A liquid or a gas. In physics, whenever you hear the word fluid, don't just think of liquids, it's also a gas, possibly. And when this happens, as you know, if you were to put your hands above a hot radiator, you will feel some air rising. And that rising air, or rising fluid, is called a convection current. So convection currents can form when fluids, liquid or gas, liquids or gases, are heated. So this is what happens if we think about the particles of the fluid. So the hotter fluid particles, they gain more kinetic energy because that's heat energy. So they move faster. They move faster. And all these particles are moving and slipping and sliding around each other, and as they move faster, they're going to need more space between them. And so there is more space between them. As a result, the hotter fluid particles, or the hotter fluid itself, becomes less dense. Because we've got more space between each particle. That means, remember, density is how much mass we've got in a certain volume. So it becomes less dense. And if it's less dense than the surrounding cooler fluid, it will rise. And that is the convection current. So a couple of keywords for you here. Convection currents, fluids. We're talking about particles moving faster and so needing more space. Please do not say that particles expand. They do not. Particles do not expand. It's a classic mistake that's made. They do not expand. So here's some examples of a convection current. It can be a huge scale, such as the Earth. And here we've got the mantle, which is a slow, sort of molten rock, which very slowly moves, and as it gets warmed up by the outer core of the Earth, that hot rock becomes less dense and will rise, and the cooler rock will fall back down to take its place. On a smaller scale, if you look at a liquid, a glass of water, let's say, and if you drop a little crystal of potassium permanganate and you heat it, then we create a convection current as the warmer water rises, becomes less dense, and the cooler water will take its place. And sea breezes. Sea breezes happen because when the sun warms up the land, faster than it does the sea in the day, and that means warm air rises, becomes less dense, and the cool air replaces that rising warm air, and so we get a sea breeze from the sea towards the coast. So there we are. There are some convection currents and some key words that you need to remember.